long time. I feel very stupid because I was here last time saying, oh, I'm gonna upload 3 times a week. And that never happened because life got in the way, and yeah. But there are chances that I'm going to be able to be here a lot more now because I only have 2 days of work left, and then I'm going to graduate, and then yeah, basically I'm going to be back in the UK for like 3 weeks, away from work, away from kind of stress and time consuming things. This video I didn't want to do. Like, my idea was just to like kind of start doing YouTube and like start my fitness project, which sounds very dumb, but it kind of entitles a lot more than just going for a run and losing like 10 kilograms. It's more about obviously making time for myself and practicing self-love and all that jazz, and I'm really looking forward to those 3 weeks. I thought it makes sense to actually start it all with kind of an explanation about my obsession with food. Really, I'm at a point in my life where I feel like that's in the past, and I've recovered and I'm doing quite okay. So it's good. I think it's also good and therapeutic for me to talk about it. And I mean, I don't know how many people are going to watch it. I don't know how many people are going to really feel like I'm saying anything helpful, but I really hope that if anyone is struggling at the moment, these words are going to make you, are going to give you a little bit more peace, maybe just some more comfort in the fact that you're not alone. It all started with like a kind of weight loss journey. About growing up, I was always like a bit on a chubby side. It's not chubby, but just like never really skinny child. Then I didn't really mind. But growing up, I was always eating unhealthy food for some reason. I don't know. I was really picky. I didn't really like veggies. I didn't like beans. I didn't like pasta either. I really just liked meat, a lot of meat and sweets and pizza. That was kind of my diet. Up to like 10, 12, I was still fine because again, I was a child. I wasn't eating so much. I was just eating normally, but kind of unhealthy things. Then when I was like 13, 14, it kind of started to affect me, and I kind of started realizing that I wasn't really as skinny as I wanted to be. When you start going out at 13, 14, and then your boobs start appearing, your body starts changing, and I didn't know how to cope with that. I was a bit like shocked because I started gaining a bit more weight, and well, long story short, I got to like 15, 16, kind of started hating myself. That's the point where I really started dieting without telling anyone. Actually, my mom took me to like a dietitian because I really wanted to lose like 10 kilograms at that point. I followed the diet for like 1 or 2 weeks. I feel like nothing's changing, and so I feel like this is not working out. I'm not going to go there again because I felt bad because she was putting me on a scale every time I was there, so I didn't really want to go through that, especially because I was like kind of just a child, really, 14, 15, whatever that was. That ended. My obsession about my body image started. I then started going online and following all the crazy diets out there, which for obvious reasons didn't really work out. I also went to like one of those not really doctor-y things, like I'm just giving you some powders and you eat those and they're gonna substitute your meals. That was just terrible. And I wasn't even 18. How are they allowed to do that? I haven't even thought about it in a long time. But yeah, so I go through all these crazy diets, nothing really changes, hate my body, starting hiding my body. I would get some comments sometimes from my family, which is not ideal, but I think they didn't really want to hurt me. It was just like kind of their way of advising me. During this time, I was also in kind of I would call it an abusive relationship, and not physically, obviously, but more emotionally, because there was this guy who I really liked and who I thought liked me back, but actually he liked basically everyone, and I was chasing him, and sometimes sometimes I felt like he was chasing me, and this went on for years. And those were my most vulnerable years because, again, I was a teenager. I changed school, didn't like myself a lot. I don't know, it's just like kind of a wow, shit. Yeah, so all like this perfect combination of things led me to kind of starting developing an eating disorder, really. And that's when I was, I think, 17 or 18. This is when I was 18. It was the last year of high school, and I used to live very close to the beach in Italy. Summer, beautiful weather. So I didn't want to spend another summer feeling shit and not like looking outside and seeing the beach with a lot of people and not feeling comfortable enough with myself to actually go there. So I thought, okay, this is it. I want to change things. And that was a time where I actually started following a lot of like weight loss things on Instagram and YouTube, and they kind of inspired me. So what I started doing was eating a high protein diet. It all started with kind of a good amounts of food, I would say. So I would have like oats for breakfast and like a banana, and then I would have like a yogurt midday, and then I would have like a salad, like just some greens and salmon or chicken breast, and that was going to be the same for dinner. Like that's what I did for like a month, and I started to lose quite a lot of weight because I was also working out. I was doing like home workouts, watching YouTube videos and stuff, and then I started going for runs in the morning. There were power walks in the beginning, and then I started feeling like more energetic and like lighter, so I felt more comfortable in moving. And the fact that I was seeing results so quickly, like I was so happy with myself. But then it got worse because, again, I saw results, and then I started reading more and more about nutrition and weird things, and I reduced my food intake. I would only have like chicken breast or like 2 egg whites for lunch, and then I started skipping dinner. I was doing intermittent fasting, and then I also read that after 6 p.m. your body cannot really process carbs well. So I would have around 5:30 or at 5 p.m. I would have 1 sliced apple and 1 chopped carrot, and that was going to be like my snack slash dinner. And that's what I was doing for like another month and a half. And all of this by doing strength workouts at home with like small weights, going for like 6, 7 or 8K in the morning. I would go for a very long power walk in the evening, on top of being quite active during the day. So I lost, like, in 2.5 months, I would say like 9 or 10 kilograms, which was really all I needed to lose. I should have really stopped, but I didn't. School started, and everyone was like complimenting me, asking for advice. Oh my god, what did you do? You lost so much weight, you look so good. And I would come back home from after school, have lunch, not dinner, work out, go for a run. Like I would wake up so early in the morning to use like an elliptic at home to kind of track my calories, and I would not stop until I reached like at least 500 calories burned in my morning workout, and then go for a walk and burn another 400, and then eat overall like 300 calories a day, sometimes 600. So I started working out more and more and eating less and less, and that's when I kind of found something that somehow rescued me for a little while, which was veganism. And I started watching a documentary, and I started questioning my food intake, and I started questioning like the things that I was doing, and I started feeling like I was making some mistakes and I wasn't really treating myself very nicely. So that's when I started eating a bit more. I was still very frightened about carbs. I wouldn't really eat potatoes. I wouldn't really eat bread. I wouldn't really eat pizza. I wouldn't really eat high carbs. I would just have like veggies and fruit, and that was really it. And obviously I felt healthier, and I was eating a bit more calories, but I was still working out a lot. So my weight wasn't really affected. Maybe I gained a couple of like kilograms, but that was really it. But I felt like I needed to lose more weight, so then I was fruitarian. I would only eat fruits, and then I would only eat green smoothies, and then I would do juice fasts for like 6 days. Fast forward to my first year of uni, I moved, new city, first year of university. Everyone was new, everything was new. There is this thing about first year of uni and everyone gaining weight because you party a lot. I wasn't really partying a lot, but I was going out with friends, and I was just like kind of doing things that I wouldn't allow myself to do before. So I gained some weight, and I wasn't really working out as much because I had classes early in the morning, and I don't know, I had all these new things to try out, and so I kind of let myself go a little bit, and so I gained some weight. I went to the gym again. I would work out very early in the morning, work out again in the evening, started skipping all my meals, started eating nothing again. I would say no to my friends to go out just for a pizza on a Friday night because I didn't want to gain weight again. And bear in mind, all of this I did by myself. I didn't want to tell anyone because I felt embarrassed. So this is why I hope that this might help someone. And I hope no one is in that situation I was in. But if you are, then I'm sorry, and I hope you're going to feel better, and I'm sure you will. Because if I did it, you can too. That was a very dark time in my life because I was very stressed. I'm an overachiever. I was trying to study so hard, and I was trying to get the best grades and results. And yeah, I was doing quite well in uni, but then everything was just so much to deal with for me at that time. So yeah, and I started juice fasting. I did it for like 21 days, and then I did it for like 23 days. I was working out in the meantime as well, which is something you should never do while having a juice fast. I was feeling dizzy all the time. I was so tired. I lost again weight, but I couldn't see myself looking the way I wanted to look. I would just sit in front of the mirror naked and seeing some rolls in my stomach, which is normal when you're sitting down, and just feel like I was a failure and I was looking terrible, and I would just cry and cry and cry and cry. Wow, looking back, that wasn't a nice time. I'm so glad that's over. Then I stopped looking at myself because I couldn't bear my image. I couldn't bear the reflection in the mirror, so I stopped looking at myself. And yeah, so very dark times. Then it went completely on the opposite way because I had gone to a point where I really starved my body and starved myself, that I couldn't do it anymore. So it all started with like, I don't know, eating a piece of chocolate of my roommate, and then wanted it all, and I would just eat everything that I could find. I would just eat everything, and I just couldn't stop because I was so hungry. Like my body was just like, you've been doing this for 2-3 years, you have to stop, like you have to eat. And I would just eat everything, and I was craving sweets, and I was craving all the bad things, and I would just have them all while crying. And then I would just spend the whole day in bed. I would skip some classes because I was feeling bad about myself, and my brain would go, I had all that food yesterday, you've gained so much weight overnight, like you look completely different this morning. So you have to go to the gym. And feeling all sluggish because I was coming from like a full binge, I would go to the gym and I would put myself on the treadmill. I would wear all like those baggy t-shirts, and I would just try to hide my body and just be on the treadmill for like an hour and run and run and run and feeling sick and continue running. And it was just horrible, really, really horrible, and that was necessary. But that's my only way of coping with everything at that time. So yeah, it was a very dark moment. I've said that thing 20,000 times, and I'm sorry, but it really was, because I don't really allow myself to go back to these memories now. So it's been a long time, and I haven't really thought of myself in bed crying myself to sleep because I had chips. And my binge eating disorder got worse. I would overeat basically every other day, and then I would just go to the gym, throw up when I could, cry. This affected my grades for a semester. Thank God I recovered in terms of grades, but not in terms of health. And that was it, really. That was my first year, second year. Then on the third year is when I let myself go. I was just like, fuck this. I started reading about it. I started eating about binge eating. I started reading about like recoveries, about eating disorders. I was trying to figure out what was happening to me and why I was thinking the way I was thinking. And I was just trying to hold on to something that would help me and give me some relief. And I really couldn't. It would last for a month, a few weeks, and then it would just be back again. I would have a stressful time and I would go back to binge eating. I would have an argument with someone and I would go back to binge eating. I still couldn't really approach food in a normal way. I would still, when you see calories, you'd never forget them. So every time I was eating something, I knew how many calories I had, because I think I didn't mention this, but obviously I was counting every calorie. Back when I was like very obsessed with food, I was counting every single calorie. I was just obsessed. So even if I was consciously not weighing myself anymore, not because before I was literally putting my body on a scale 3-4 times a day, and if I had gained like 0.1 kilograms, I would just be in tears, which is completely crazy, because obviously throughout the day your body fluctuates. You eat, you poop, you don't poop, you drink water, and obviously I was obsessed with calories, so I still couldn't let that go, and I would still really I wouldn't really allow myself to eat certain foods unless I was binging, because in my mind it was just like, if you're having half of it, like you cannot have just a little piece of chocolate, because if you have a piece of chocolate, you're doing your body damage. Like you're ruining your weight loss. You might as well like have it all and then never have it again. And that's how my brain would work. And I would do that over and over and over again. And I really felt insatiable. Like I could just eat the fucking world and not be satisfied. So yeah, that was my third year of uni. I gained all my way back. Stopped going to the gym. Still felt very shit about myself. My clothes wouldn't fit anymore. My bras wouldn't fit anymore. Nothing really would fit anymore. Felt very, very bad. Continued that way until I moved to the UK. That's when I met my boyfriend. And things started getting a bit better. I was constantly trying to just like become healthier. I was conscious that losing weight couldn't be my priority, but being healthy had to be my priority. I started going back to the gym, but then I realized that the gym is not my safe environment, because it becomes obsessive. It becomes obsessive for me. Like I cannot go 3 times a week. If I go, I have to go every day for 2 hours a day. So I thought, that's not happening. Like I'm not gonna put myself into that position anymore. I stopped eating shit, but not every day. I would just like maybe give myself a treat here and there to try to balance things out. A situation when I met James, and I'm talking about him because I kind of think he played a good role in my recovery story, in the sense that he's a very loving person and he always made me feel very, very happy and very, very loved. There were times during our relationship where he would make a joke and I would just go crazy, and I would still feel like there was something wrong with me. Having someone who would love you regardless and in spite of everything and just because of who you are, it was really good. It felt really good. I felt like that was really the first time in my life where I felt that someone was just looking at me and thinking, she's beautiful, I love her. And that helped. And he's someone who just loves food. He loves food. He loves going out for food and drinks. Started going out a lot, and we would have dinner out 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes order lunch, and then I moved with him and that continued. But in this, I was so happy about my new university, about studying new subjects, so stressed about finding a job. I was so like happy and in love in my relationship that I just stopped thinking. It would come back to me sometimes, but then I just started thinking, you have something good and you have to concentrate on the positives. Whenever he would give me, I don't know, some food that I didn't want, that it wasn't healthy for me, I would just go, I would think this is not good for me, but then think this is good for my soul. Have that. And so, yeah, and that's when I also kind of stopped being vegan. I went pescatarian, so at the moment I still sometimes eat fish and sometimes eat eggs or cheese, and that's really it. But I don't really buy those things myself. It's more like when I'm out or when I'm celebrating something, or I don't know, this is just working for me at the moment, and I'm fully aware of how the benefits of being vegan, and maybe I can do another video on that. My life got so obsessive that I could really restrict myself too much when it came to food. Yeah, so what worked for me, long story short, it was stop thinking. Like, don't think about it. Don't think how bad this is. This is good. Enjoy the food. Okay? Don't think about it. I think I was reading more because that's how I process things, and I started realizing slowly that obviously it sounds good to say it, but no one really thinks that about themselves, unless at least I didn't. That I started realizing I was more than my weight, that I was loving. I'm a good person and I do loving things, and I'm successful at doing this, at doing that. So I would just really kind of be nice to myself in the way that I was thinking about myself. And I was still aware that I had gained weight, but it was okay. It was okay because everything else was okay. So when things would be okay, I would again go back to a healthier life. Obviously, it wasn't all this easy. It was all kind of up and down, and James can definitely tell you and confirm. What happens now? Well, I've been living in Brussels for like 5 months now, 6 months. I really wanted to make this time the time to kind of go back to being healthier. And by healthier, I don't mean losing weight. I really feel proud of what I've accomplished and who I am. And now I know what makes me feel good. And it is to eat in a balanced way, to be healthy as much as I can, because I know the benefits of it. It's definitely to work out, because I would feel very good after a run, and I used to love running so much. I would feel very good about meditating or doing some yoga or stretching my body and drinking a lot of water. And I didn't realize back then that wasn't doable every single day, and that if you skipped one day you would die or just gain all the weight in the world. But I do realize that now. Like, now I know that that's good to live that way 80% of the time, 85% of the time. And then there's life that gets in the way, and there's events, and there's a party, and there's a dinner, and there's sometimes just a mood in the month where you crave something unhealthy, and I want to allow myself to have that. So I'm really looking forward to just getting back to, not really getting back to anything, just to moving on to a better me, a healthier and especially a happier me. And it took me a long time to get to this point, and I had to really let go of a lot of things. I had to really accept a lot of things, and I had to accept that I have gained weight, that things don't fit as I want them to fit anymore. But just buy new clothes. Like, just buy new clothes. If you're going through a rough time, and if you are not satisfied with who you are, if you're binge eating, if you're throwing up, if you just ask for help, you have to. Because the moment I recovered was the moment where I was honest with the person that I had next to me. And when I realized that he would love me anyway, that's when it clicked, and I felt like my worth is not measured with my body. So just talk to someone if you have a chance, people, because they can help, and give yourself time to process things the way you want to process them. And what I would recommend is just let go, stop thinking about anything that concerns you. As soon as your head goes, that's too many calories, that's too wrong, that's wrong, that's just, you're gonna gain weight, stop it, just stop it. Do something else to distract yourself. Go outside, go for a walk, talk to a friend, call a friend, go out for a pizza, do whatever, but don't listen to the voice. Like, if you continue to avoid the voice, eventually it's gonna go like quieter and quieter in your head, and you will not feel the pain anymore. It's just gonna go away. It's gonna come back and go away. You're gonna have ups and downs, but it will go away and you will feel better. So just give yourself time. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm quite conscious it was quite personal, but again, I would have never been able to say these things a year ago, 2 years ago, but I am now. So I really hope someone can feel better. And if you have any question, if you want to talk to me about anything, please just do. And that's it, really. Good luck, and I will see you hopefully soon, or maybe never again. I don't know. I cannot keep promises, apparently.